Now, Harry here was telling me that he waited for quite a while. Now, Harry, how important is it, or how does it feel for you to be finally pumping gas?
Well, we're lucky. The building we're in has electricity too, so we've been very lucky, but got to get gas to run the pumps or generators, so have to be patient. Something Americans aren't used to.
I think the key word there that he said was definitely patience. Again, some of these drivers have been waiting for an hour, hour and a half just to get gas. Bye, Harry, thank you. Just to get gas. Now, as you can see, it's causing quite a gridlock, so there are mobility response teams out here coordinating traffic. The other thing that they're coordinating too is there are very few convenience stores open, so they're actually coordinating traffic into the convenience stores because, again, they have a lot of people wanting to go into these convenience stores. We do have another set of good news. The Walgreens on Montrose in Washington is also open just in case you need water, ice, those very, very important things that, of course, we all need after a storm. Back to you guys.
Rosa Flores, thank you very much. Long lines indeed. People find out where they can go and get supplies, and they rush there to make sure they can take advantage of an opportunity because they don't know when they're going to be able to get out again.
That's true, but also keep in mind that we're all in this together. We're all going to need gas. We're all going to need water. We're all going to need food. We're all going to need ice. So take what you need and then leave some for everyone else as well. So we don't need any hoarding of gasoline at this point, or of ice or food or those kind of things. We're all going to need it, and so again, get what you need and then try to leave some for everyone else.
We'll continue to show you aerial pictures. Doug, do you know what that is?
I'm getting the feeling we're flying over Ellington right now. It looks like we may be coming in over. Is that Ellington Field or is that a private? No, that's not Ellington. It's obviously an airfield of some sort. I suspect the helicopter that we've been looking at, again, it's a CNN helicopter, is landing to refuel. These guys, as we know, Air 11 and all these choppers, they go up, they do what they can, and then they have to fly back and refuel just as quickly as they can. And I suspect that chopper is going to be back up in the air really quick, and hopefully we can get somebody over there to the Crystal Beach area. Once again, guys, I got to tell you, that's the area that I'm really, really concerned about. We were talking to people the other night who were stuck inside buildings over there, got the word, thank goodness, that someone we were communicating with on a cell phone while he was trapped inside a church building. He and 5 other people got out, but there are a number of people who came out of there who tell us they believe there are some people who just didn't make it out of there alive.
Yeah, we know the same is true at Gilchrist and in Bolivar as well,
right.
All that part. Galveston was also hit hard, and our Jeff McShann has been there over at Ball High School, one of the staging grounds where a lot of the relief teams are. He has this report.
We're here at Galveston Ball High School, where you can see behind me there are literally hundreds of people waiting to get on buses here. Last night after I report, a lot of people decided to come here because they knew this was a hub. They knew the Army, the Air Force was here, the Texas National Guard, FEMA, and the Texas Department of Public Safety, all here trying to coordinate some sort of effort. And a lot of people showed up. And today, what they're doing is putting people on various buses and sending them to different places throughout the state, places like San Antonio and Bryan College Station, taking their names, getting all their information, getting them to higher ground, places where they can go eat, have food and water. And you can see right there a National Guard guy writing down names and putting them on the buses so they can keep a track of all these people. Let's walk over here, Greg, and basically the buses are lined up around the corner. Galveston police out here as well. Just bear with us. We're going to show you the line. We're going to walk out here in the street, kind of give you an idea of all the people that are trying to get out of Galveston. And the main reason why is just basically lack of food and water and gasoline. These people have no way of getting out. They're getting tired. They're being given water over here right now, but you can see there's a line, you know, a good 100 yards, at least 50 yards down the way here. And that's what's going on. These people have packed up their belongings, and they're headed out of town for a little while to till they could get the services back on here and the island could get back up and running again. While we're walking down this way, it's going to give you show you also, this place is just a huge hub of activity. Over there is the Texas Department of Public Safety. They've also got the Emergency Services Operations for Special Needs. And you can't see it, but behind the school, there's FEMA back there as well. So these people are being taken care of. They are being taken off the island, though, because of the fact that there is a lack of electricity, lack of food and water at this time. So the community has shown up here in big numbers, hundreds and hundreds of people being evacuated today off the island. Greg?
All right, that's Jeff McShann there at Ball High School, and these are people, you have to feel for them. They were riding out the front of the storm. By all accounts, there were as many as 40% of Galveston's population that decided not to evacuate when they were asked to go through that mandatory evacuation. And it ought to give people a sense of what's going on there, because now these people are wanting out. They're wanting to try to get out to get to a safer place. They can sit there and tell you that this is no place to be. Ship me off to Bryan College Station. Ship me off to San Antonio. So for those of you who are wondering, should I go back to Galveston now? The answer is clearly no. First of all, they don't want you there. They won't let you in, and they're trying to get as many people out as they possibly can to get some more work done.
Another issue we've been talking about and showing you pictures of is people who, once they've kind of gotten their bearings, now they figure out, okay, what do I need? I need ice, I need fuel, I need supplies, I need food. You might be losing food that's in the refrigerator because you have no power. And so we've been telling you about a website. If you go to KHOU.com, we have a list of the stores that are open. We also had Lee Ferlisi out looking at a place where ice supplies and people are running there. Let's take a look at her story.
We're over at I-10 in Washington at the Chevron, where today there was supposed to be a free ice giveaway by KTRH, 8,000 bags of ice. As you can imagine, there were a lot of people here who are without electricity who really wanted to get some ice. Well, I am told by the people who were here that the KTRH truck left. A lot of angry people here who wound up not getting a single bag of ice.
So everybody here got in front of the truck and would not allow the truck to leave, asking if we could please just get some ice just for the people that were here. We really need some ice.
We're told that truck went to 45 and Fuquay, where they continued the free giveaway of the ice. The thing now is, it's all done. Despite people saying that they heard on the radio that KTRH was coming back here at 4:30 to I-10 in Washington, it is done. They are not coming back. The owner here just told us they heard directly from KTRH. They're all out of ice. There's nothing to give. We want to show you over here I-10. I got to tell you, I was able to go down this entrance ramp just last night. I had spent 36 hours in lockdown at the emergency center as the storm was passing through, and when it was safe enough, we were all able to leave. And as I was heading to the station, I was able to easily get on I-10. Today, you can't do that. It is a river. As a matter of fact, police officer just pulled up a short while ago to block off this entrance. You do not want to drive on here. I-10 is closed from Washington to Patterson, and it would be very dangerous. We saw some curiosity seekers actually going down the banks here. It's not a good idea. It's very dangerous. As a matter of fact, search and rescue just set up camp here, and they're waiting to see if they need to go into this water. They're hoping that they don't, because it would not be a good situation. Back here at I-10 in Washington at the Chevron, just to remind everyone that that free giveaway of ice is not happening. So if you're looking for ice, which everybody is today, I can't tell you how many people asked us about ice. Unfortunately, it's not here. One place we did see ice was at Studemont and Washington. There's a Chevron there, but I would call before you go just to see if they still have ice. They were going to sell ice for as long as they have it. We are at Washington and I-10. Lee Ferlisi, 11 News.
Lee, thank you. And a reminder, we want you to know this information. Obviously, no ice at that location where she was, but at KHOU.com, just click on Hurricane Ike Supply blog, and there you will find a list of gas stations, drugstores, all open, as well as where you can pick up supplies of food, ice, as well as household items. So if you have power and you can log on, this list is very invaluable, so make sure you take advantage of it.
You know, there are a lot of people who have been impacted in an enormous way by this storm. You know, their houses have been swept away, or they have no place to live. The majority of us, though, are really inconvenienced, you know, by the power loss, the no air conditioning, electricity. There are other people who have the disabilities or special needs, and they're struggling through this as well, and it's a very difficult time for them, and Alex Sands has been checking up on them at Independence Hall.
We're at a place called Independence Hall here in North Houston. It's just off of I-45 and Airline, south of Tidwell, and what's happening here is similar to what's happening in other parts of our area. This is a place known as an apartment community for people with disabilities, the handicapped, the elderly. trees are down as expected and the power is out, but what makes that more dangerous for some of the people here is that they have special needs. Some require oxygen, medical machines to keep them alive in some cases. Some are bedridden and they simply can't get out. I'm going to walk over here and talk to a gentleman who lives on the property. David, you were telling me during the storm there was some concern about what could happen the days following with the power out, with some of the destruction around here. The big concern now is for the people who have these special needs.
Well, we have people in 7 building over there that have 24-hour nurses, but they're on respirators, they have oxygen, and they need 24-hour care. And we don't have any electric. We need it on for those people. I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about them.
Now it's clear by seeing the people who are out here, many are in wheelchairs. We know some cannot leave their apartments. It is getting hot and it is getting muggy in many of these units. How much longer do you think they can stand these conditions, given how sick some of them are?
Well, some of them have asthma and they can't stand this heat, and some of them have breathing problems. They do aerators and all that, and some of them even have asthma, and that's not good for their health to be in this kind of heat.
One of the plans we've heard to help out the people here involves search and rescue teams coming in and either chartering buses or ambulances to get people out of here. I want to bring Margie in. Margie, you are one of the assistant managers here. You were telling me you've spoken to Search and Rescue, which is here on the property, and they were saying they're going door to door now, knocking on these different apartments to see who needs the kind of help they need and where to possibly take them.
Well, right now they're targeting on the people who are bedridden, asking them to sign a letter, to sign a paper so they could take them to safety. They're going to have a Texas tax force. They're going to possibly take them to maybe El Paso or the convention center. We're not too sure right now where exactly they're going to take them to. But our main concern here is some of them, at least we'll have some safety for those who are bedridden and be there with some oxygen, some light. But I'm pretty concerned mostly about our residents here who are going to be left behind. I don't know how much days they're going to be able without food, and they're cooking up other food in the grills outside and trying to at least stay together and keep and support each other, which is all we can do right now, and just hope our electricity will get on as soon as possible.
You were also saying despite some of the conditions that we see here, some of the medical needs they have, there are some people who are in their apartments bedridden who still don't want to leave.
Yeah, we have a lot of people like that who don't want to go, they don't want to leave. Some are on wheelchairs. Though they just, because of their medication, they just do not want to leave their homes. But we try to tell them, we're going to talk to them and tell them it's best if they do, at least for a couple of days. That way they'll be safe and they'll know they're going to come back home and we're going to get some electricity. We just don't want to leave them here all with no electricity or any water or any food. We don't have any of that. It's short right now. So it's a concern. It's a really concern.
A concern and certainly a difficult situation for a lot of people. As it stands right now, there are about 200 or so people who are still on property. Of those, maybe 10 to 15 are in those special needs situations, bedridden, in need of power to help them sustain their life in some cases. So as it stands right now, Search and Rescue is here on scene, getting a better sense of where things are. We could see evacuations from this location in North Houston happen at some point today, maybe perhaps late evening at the latest.
All right, that's Alex Sands. Yeah, you see these people struggling through this. And
really bad.
The Red Cross is also working to secure some generators at this point to try to get their shelters up and running. In fact, they hope to have another half-dozen shelters up and running here in the Houston area by this afternoon. We'll provide you with that list here shortly. It really has been challenging for them just to find the locations because they're dealing with a lot of the same problems that many of you and us are dealing with as well. Trying to find a facility that hasn't been damaged, a facility that does have power, a facility that has water. And so they're trying to assess that right now and see how far they can actually get.
If they don't have power, then they're, as you mentioned, they're trying to get generators to those locations. And once they do and they're up and running, then they will provide us with the list, and you can go online and get that list, or we can tell you, you can listen to it on the radio.
Right, and not just at the shelters, because they also plan to put out some of their mobile feeding stations as well in some of the selected communities around that have been heavily impacted.
Very convenient,
yeah, and that way they'll also use some of those generators for that. If you are going to be going to one of these shelters, however, they do suggest that you take a couple of items with you. First of all, a pillow and maybe your clothing, and also some of your bedding that you may need. If you have a child with you that needs diapers, you need to take the diapers and the formula formula, so any kind of
Absolutely.
special needs like that. Also, if you have special dietary considerations, if you're a diabetic or something along, or have allergies, you may want to take some food if you do have that.
Or medication.
Prescription medications and
Yeah.
toiletries. So those are a few of the items that you will need.
And the unpleasant part of our business is reporting this kind of information. We're going to give you an update on the number of deaths so far because of Hurricane Ike. The number now stands at 9 dead. We know that 2 occurred in Louisiana, 1 in Arkansas. 3 bodies were announced found in Galveston. That was today. And among the deaths, a 4-year-old boy due to carbon monoxide poisoning. And we don't know the circumstances surrounding that, but we do know that a lot of people have turned to generators. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you do bring them inside, they generate carbon monoxide, which is deadly. It's a colorless, odorless, tasteless. You don't know it's there, so you have to be very, very careful with these things. But right now, the death toll stands at 9.
And that's what we've been told in many cases. More people die after the storm than actually during the storm, so that's why it's so important to be vigilant in that.
All right.
We're trying to give you as much information as we can on where you can possibly get some supplies and get some relief. And on our website, we know a lot of you don't have power and you don't have access to the website at KHOU.com. But on that website, there is a blog. It's on the first page. You scroll just a couple of lines down and you will see it. It's called Ike's Hurricane Blog. This is the supply blog here, and there are a couple of things that you may need. You may be looking for ice. A couple of places where you can find it. We talked to Jim McInvale, Mattress Mac to many of us, who owns Gallery Furniture. He has a big ice machine. He says he's ready to provide ice at his I-45 Gallery Furniture location. And also, we understand that Hilton Furniture is doing the same thing off the Gulf Freeway. They're very close together. The Target off of FM 646 and a couple of HEBs, one in Pearland and one off of Highway 59 south at Crab River.
We're going to continue with that list in just a moment, but first, let's show you some pictures with reporter Chris Sadeghi. He's in Surfside in Brazoria County. Chris?
All right, Chris, we don't have your audio, so we'll continue with this list until we get that worked out, so hold on just a second if you would. We do have a couple of food stores here that we can also tell you. There are several Kroger's that are up, about 30 HEBs. And Chris, can you hear us now?
1, 2. Yeah, I can hear you now.
1, 2. Now we got you. So you're there at Surfside.
Yeah.
Give us the latest on what you have.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we're here in Surfside. People are getting a chance to take a look at their homes for the first time since Ike went through. They are letting them in. They started at noon. They're getting a chance to come to their homes, take a look. Also, if they have a chance to grab any belongings, they can do that. They don't want them rummaging through the debris because it's still quite dangerous out here. There's a lot of metal on the ground, a lot of glass on the ground. They don't want anybody getting hurt. They have until 7 o'clock before they have to be off the island. Now, some homes like this one, you might be able to see the red X's on the side there. That means they are too dangerous. They don't want anybody going anywhere near inside to move anything at all. I believe we have some video for you. You can take a look. People are arriving at their homes and they're really just trying to take a look, see what they can find. Now, the common theme here, those that had homes that are up on the pilings, they said the inside really isn't that bad. Now, those that had homes that are down on the ground, a little bit different story. They say that the flooding did some damage, that stuff was moved around, a lot of debris. So those that had homes up on the pilings, from what we've been able to tell, they're faring a lot better than those that had homes down on the ground. If you want to come back out here live, you can see there's going to be plenty of cleanup to do. This was an empty lot right here. You can see that it is going to take quite the cleanup process to get that cleaned up. Also, take a look at this Jeep right here. This Jeep floated over here, the surf, to show you how intense it was. This Jeep originally was over here down at this brown house. The surf was that powerful, took it right on over here. But for the most part, it looks like a lot of people have been coming in, just kind of checking to see how their homes are doing, making sure they're still here. As we mentioned, about 20 homes here in Surfside completely collapsed. And once they are here, they're seeing if they can just grab anything, those most important items, nothing too big, before they have to be right back off the island at 7 o'clock. This should continue for about 2 to 5 days is what we're told, until they can get in here and get things cleaned up and make it safe to return. Guys.
All right, Chris Sadeghi, thank you. It's Surfside, a mess down there. A truck moved, looked like it was about 50 feet from where it originally was. Wind and water damage and the whole mess. We want to point out something. Earlier we had a news conference and Congressman John Culberson was making a really tough appeal for food and water that he said first responders were not getting at Tully Stadium, where they are helping people out. Well, we were happy to say that he made that appeal and Houstonians reacted, and we now know at Tully Stadium for the first responders, they have more than enough, I'm told, food and water at Tully Stadium. So we'd like to thank you Houstonians and viewers in the area who responded to that appeal by Congressman Culberson to get down there and provide food and water for the people who are trying to help out everybody else.
And now we're waiting to see some widespread evidence that FEMA is taking some of those supplies that they have, like these first responders do, and distribute them out to the community at large. We saw some evidence of that, anecdotal evidence there in Galveston, where they were handing out some water, a little bit of food there. Yeah. But in the overall area, we really haven't seen that as of yet. We know that they have these pods or these staging or distribution areas that they have talked about, where they have water and they have meals ready to eat, the MREs, meals ready to eat, which are basically the military type of supplies.
Which you've had, I know.
Yeah, it's definitely had some of those. They have their generators, they have tarps, they have cots, but what we haven't seen as of yet, and believe me, they will certainly let us know, because they want, because of their past track record, they want the word out that they're here and that they're doing their job, that they are actually distributing these items to people in need. That's what we haven't seen as of yet. So we're waiting on a news conference from Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff, and we're waiting to hear from him as to exactly when that's taking place and how many people are actually being served.
Yeah, no doubt that FEMA is certainly feeling pressure here, given what happened during Katrina, where they felt, people in general felt the federal government just responded much too slowly, with not enough force and impact. And I think they're really trying to be careful here to make sure they do everything possible to stay on top of this situation.
And the fact that we're 24 hours after the storm now.
Exactly. All right, Doug Miller has been providing us with valuable information throughout the day and throughout this time we've been covering Hurricane Ike. And Doug, you're in the newsroom with an update.
Out here in the newsroom is where we're getting all this information. We're gathering it from various sources. Of course, all the producers and all the reporters here in our newsroom, as well as those out in the field, are giving us this information. We're getting it also from emails and photos that people are sending to us as the power comes back on in various neighborhoods. People are taking pictures, sending them to us. We're going to show some of those to you just shortly. But I wanted to pass on some information from Montgomery County. We've got some information from Montgomery County Emergency Management saying that they have some shelters open up there. There are no power or supplies at these shelters, okay, but they are saying we need to bring all of your essentials, your bedding, your food, everything else. If you need to, you can shelter at the Montgomery Junior High School on Stewart Creek Drive, that's in Montgomery, in Tomball at St. Anne's Catholic Church at 1111 South Cherry Street. And the other shelters that we've mentioned in the past, they say have been relocated or demobilized. They've distribution sites where they're distributing various supplies. In North Montgomery County, it's 600 Gerald in Willis, Texas, in South Montgomery County at the Woodlands Mall, in East Montgomery County at the Precinct 4 Commissioner's Office, which is on Roberts Road off of Loop 494. I believe that's in New Caney. School closings up there. Conroe ISD closed Monday and Tuesday. Magnolia ISD closed Monday. Montgomery ISD closed Monday and Tuesday. Lone Star College closed Monday and Tuesday as well. Oh, by the way, distribution site in West Montgomery County at Magnolia High School, FM 1488 and FM 149. Also, wanted to mention this. There's a really interesting little program they've got going that's going to be very, very helpful in this situation. I've actually visited these people. It's the nurse hotline. You know, we always have this problem with people showing up at emergency rooms with minor problems. They've got the sniffles, a stub toe, whatever, or they've got some kind of little non-emergency problem, whatever it is, sort of exploiting the emergency room system. This is one of those times when you really do not want to do that because they naturally have all the work they can get at the emergency rooms. Instead of doing that, if you got some sort of a problem that is non-emergency and you just need to talk to somebody who might be able to help you out with a little advice, you can call the nurse hotline. It's called Ask Your Nurse, actually.